I welcome you all to the lecture series on nursery and gardening. In today's lecture, you are going to understand about the vegetative propagation. In vegetative propagation, air layering, cutting, selection of cutting, collection season, treatment of cutting, rooting medium, and planting of cuttings. These are the contents of this session. Vegetative propagation. Under vegetative propagation, you are going to understand about the types of vegetative propagation. Next is layering. Under layering, air layering, procedure for air layering. Next one is cutting. In cutting, procedure for cutting and advantages and limitations of cutting. These are the contents of this today's session. Let us start with the vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is an asexual method of plant reproduction that occurs in its leaves, roots, and stem. This can occur through fragmentation and regeneration of specific vegetative parts of plants. Vegetative propagation may be accomplished by artificial or natural means. So, both methods involve the development of a plant from parts of a single mature part. The way that each is carried out looks very different. In natural vegetative propagation, this occurs when plants grow and develop naturally without any human interference. Natural vegetative propagation can be enabled by the development of adventitious roots. Thus, new plants may emerge from the roots, stem, and leaves of the parent plant. The vegetative plant structure arising from the stem are known as rhizomes, bulbs, runners, tubers, etc. Artificial vegetative propagation carried out by humans on the fields and laboratories. The most common type of vegetative reproduction occurring artificially includes cutting, grafting, layering, tissue culture, etc. In your syllabus, only layering and cutting are included. So, we will discuss only these types. The first type is layering. Stems that will still attached to their parent plant may form roots where they come in contact with a rooting medium. This method of vegetative propagation is generally successful because water stress is minimized and carbohydrates and mineral nutrient levels are high. The development of roots on a stem while the stem is still attached to the parent plant is called layering. A layer is the rooted stem followed detachment or removal from the parent plant. Some plants propagate naturally by layering, but sometimes plant propagators assist the process. Layering is enhanced by wounding the stem where the roots are to form. The rooting medium should always provide aeration and a constant supply of moisture. The different types of layering are simple layering, tip layering, compound layering. The compound layering is other name is serpentine layering, mound or also called as stool layering and air layering. Air layering is a method of propagating new trees and shrubs from stems still attached to the parent plant. The stem is wrapped with damp moss to encourage roots to form. Air layering is an effective propagation method for some plants that do not root readily from cuttings and which often lack low growing shoots suitable for conventional layering, such as magnolia, azale, cotinus, and flowering corner species. Other Suitable plants for air layering includes Camellia, Daphnis, Ficus, Jasmine, Philodendron, Rhododendron, etc. Layering can be carried out in autumn or spring season. Deciduous plants respond well in either season, but evergreens respond better to spring layering. Procedure for air layering. Choose a two choose a 1 or 2 year old stem that is straight, healthy and vigorous. Trim off side shoots and leaves from a 30 centimeter section. Do not leave any snags. Wound the stem making a 2.5 centimeter that is 1 inch cut through a leaf bud angle towards the shoot tip. This will create a tongue that can be lifted. Apply hormone rooting compound to the surface of the wound. Pack a small amount of moist sphagnum moss under the tongue of the wound. Wrap the wounded stem section loosely with black plastic, sealing it at one end with weatherproof adhesive tape. Pack the wrapping sleeve with moist sphagnum moss to a thickness of 7.5 to 10 centimeter, that is 3 to 4 inch. Seal the other end of the wrapping sleeve with weatherproof adhesive tape. Leave the wrapping in place for up to a year. Open and check it occasionally for sign of rooting. When strong new roots are visible through the moss, remove the plastic sleeve, cut through the stem just below the rooted section. Pot up the rooted stem in potting compost suitable for the plant in question. Do not attempt to remove the moss from the roots. Water, label, and grow on until large enough to plant outside. This is the procedure for air layering. The next method is cutting. A part of a plant, specifically a stem or leaf, is cut and planted in the soils. Is called cutting. These cuttings are sometimes treated with hormones to induce root development. The new plant is formed from the adventitious roots developing from the cutting. Selection of cutting. Select a healthy parent plant from which to take cutting. Avoid plants with disease or lots of drooping or dying foliage. The best specimen for cutting will have plenty of new growth. Moreover, the presence of flower buds or blooms is not important. In fact, too many flowers can actually hinder the ability of a cutting to root itself. Finally, the parent plant should be large enough that taking cuttings will not harm it. Prepare the cutting. Place the cutting on a flat, hard surface and make a clean slice through the middle of the node with a sterilized razor blade. This scarifying of the node will increase the chances of roots emerging from this spot. Also, remove all but 1 or 2 leaves. The cutting needs some leaf growth to continue photosynthesis, but too many leaves will sap energy from root creation. If the leaves are very large in proportion to the stem, cut off their top halves. A cutting that is 4 to 6 inches long is usually sufficient. Longer cuttings sometimes dry out when placed in growing medium. What is the best season for cutting? For green cuttings is mid to late spring, that is from May to June is the best season for cutting. For softwood cuttings, mid to summer, that is from July to August is best season. For hardwood cuttings, from October to November is best season for cutting. These are the best seasons for cutting. Cutting treatment. Some plants root easily, but a rooting hormone can help others by stimulating the cutting into sending out a new roots. Fill a container with water and place some rooting hormone into another container. Dip the node end of the cutting into the water and then into the rooting hormone. Tap off any excess hormone. Too much actually hinders its success. Discard the excess hormone. Once it comes in contact with a cutting, it has been activated. Next is bore a planting hole. Use a pencil or similar pointed object to poke a planting hole into the soilless potting mix, making the hole slightly larger than the stem diameter will prevent the rooting hormone from being wiped away when you embed the stem in a pot. A soilless media is the best starting mix for starting plant cuttings. The mixture should be loose, well drained, and have plenty of oxygen movement for newly forming roots. You can start cutting in perlite, vermiculite, sand, or a combination of peat moss and any of the previous items. Plant the cutting. Carefully place the cutting into the hole you made in the potting mix and gently firm the soil around it. You can fit several cuttings into a one container but space them so the leaves do not touch one another. Place the container with the cutting into a plastic bag. The bag will keep the humidity high and hold in heat. But don't seal the bag completely because some airflow is necessary to prevent fungal rot. Keep the container in a warm spot in the house, ideally in an area that experiences filtered light. Don't put the cutting in full sunlight until new leaves begin appearing along the stem. Until roots form, keep the soil slightly moist but not so wet that condensation forms on the inside of the plastic bag. Check regularly for signs of rot and remove any suspect cuttings as soon as you spot trouble. After 2 to 3 weeks, begin checking for roots by tugging gently on the cutting. When you begin to feel resistance, it means roots have developed. At this point, you can transplant the cutting into its own plant or the ground. It completes the cutting procedure. Last aspect is advantages and limitations of cutting. Advantages of cutting. This type of propagation does not require the special technique as like budding or grafting. There is no problem of incompatibility with rootstock, which is always shown in budding and grafting. In a little period of time, we can get more than 1 feet high plant. The genetical characteristics of plants propagated by cutting are true to type. Limitations of cutting. Certain fruit plants have difficulty in rooting, possibility of mutation, Success differs largely according to plant species and season. These are the references for this session. I hope you all understood today's topic. Thank you.